Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's Monday and it's gloomy here in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, I'm Rena. I'm the Slow Knitter from Atlanta, Georgia, and welcome. This is episode number 38, and I'm excited to have you all here. Happy New Year, by the way. The last time I podcast, it was right before New Year's, and so this time it's 2 weeks into the new year. I think we can stop saying that soon, right? Anyway, Happy New Year anyway from me to you. This is episode number 38. And I have an FO to share. I have HO to share. Half finished object, almost there. And updates on what I'm working on. All right, let's go. First of all, I'd like to welcome back all of my subscribers. Thanks for visiting with me again. And if you're new to this podcast, I hope you enjoy it and that you'll subscribe and you'll hit the subscribe button below. That would be great. Thank you. Anyway, I will put below all the places you can find me on social media and on Ravelry. And let's start a discussion. I have some knit-alongs going in my podcast group, Ravelry podcast group, the Slow Knitter podcast group. And so I hope you join in. I love them all, but the one I'm really hooked on right now that I can't get away from right now is my shawl knit-along. And I'll show you what I've gotten in from some dyers. I've gotten some dyers work, and we'll be getting some more. And soon, believe it or not, in the next few weeks, I'll be giving away a couple of skeins of fingering weight yarn to one of the participants in the shawl knit-along. So hop on over, join in. I'm wearing my High Plains Drifter shawl, which I knit a few years ago. Reblocked last year because it needed reblocking. I still love it. Want to do it again. This is done in Malabrigo Finito in 3 different colorways. If you go to my project page on Ravelry, you'll see it. High Plains Drifter shawl. Easy, wonderful, sort of short, not really big shawl, but perfect because my office is freezing cold. Anyway, let's get right to it, shall we? I'm all about color work right now. Color work, whether it's not Fair Isle color work, which I learned what Fair Isle color work is, different from stranded color work. Fair Isle has certain designs and patterns that you usually incorporate into a design, where stranded is any kind of 2-color or 3-color or 4-color work that you use to strand together. I'm not being overly articulate about this, but I'll put some links below as to what the definitions are of stranded versus Fair Isle versus what I'm doing right now on one of my shawls, which is mosaic. I am in love with mosaic. But anyway, yeah, let's not dwell. Let's talk about what I've been working on. You know what? I always like to start with a hoe. I'm looking down at my notes to make sure that I am covering everything. Yeah, let's go with the finished object because I have to send it off to the recipient. I'm mailing it. It's my last gift knit, and it was a stranded color work piece, and the name of the pattern is Leviosa, and it's a pattern by a friend of mine who's a local indie dyer. Her name is Karen, and the pattern, and on Ravelry and on Instagram and many of the social media platforms, she goes by I Knit 2 Purl 2, and I'll put a link below to all this information in the bar, in the notes below this video. But the Leviosa hat, and I know if you follow me on Instagram, I know I've posted a picture of me wearing it, but this is the Leviosa hat. This is stranded knitting. And when I first saw it, I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to try that. That looks like something I can do. And I did it, and I'll try it on for you because I think it is one of my most favorite knits that I've made recently. This is a gift from my niece Kim in New York. well, she probably needs it right now because I think it's snowing up there. I think the weather's getting cold, so I have to get this to her right away. But I love the experience of it, and part of what I loved about it was a lesson that I had learned from Andrea Rangel, and she was one of the instructors on Knit Stars 3, and I had done stranded knitting before, and I had, you know, a fair degree of success at it, and I really, really enjoyed it. But for some reason, this one got me a little bit, it's more challenging, because on the other stranded knitting project, the colors switched enough that I didn't really have to carry them that far, that long. And with this one, there were some areas where I had to go, I was going too far. And the designer had recommended that you catch the float every 3 or 4 stitches. I caught the float every, sometimes I went 6 stitches, and I thought, okay, that's too long. Now, this is a hat. I'm not going to get any, it's not a glove or a mitten where I might get like jewelry caught in it or anything. A hat, just pull on, and unless I have a barrette on or something, I'm probably not going to catch it in anything. But I was really determined to make sure that it was, that I was doing a good enough job, because, and I'll show you in a minute why. Anyway, I had listened to Knit Stars, all the instructors, and there was a lot about Scandinavian, Fair Isle, stranded knitting, a lot about color work. And every single segment was, one was better than the other. But finally, Andrea Rangel's Hat Catch Floats, not that everybody else wasn't telling me how to catch floats, everyone else covered that part of it, but for some reason, Andrea Rangel's just clicked. And once I got what she was doing, this thing flew. I mean, I was really laboring over it because I was switching yarn. I was not really good, doing a great job. But once Andrea Rangel showed it, I was like, okay, I think I can do that. And bam, I mean, the tension improved, everything just, it's like a light bulb. You know, when you get lessons from some different people, it's the same topic, the same, and just one of them clicks. Andrea Rangel's clicked with me. But I'll tell you why. So this is very fun. I will say that I did make a mistake, and I had coffee with the designer in the very beginning, and I said, I think I made a mistake. I think the white is supposed to be the main color, not the dark. She said, oh, it doesn't really matter. And I'm glad I did it. Now, with the white, I use the bluish, grayish color as the main color. Bluish, purplish, I think. It's coming across kind of purplish. It does sort of look like that. When I actually reread the pattern, I have trouble. I have to read patterns multiple times before I really get what the designer wants. That's a very, very straightforward pattern. But the way Karen designed it was the white was the main color, and the blue and this gray down here was more the background colors. And it's so beautiful that way because the design is so subtle. But the design, when I used the blue as the main color, when I finally reread it, I went, oh, good Lord. Karen said, it's really no big deal. But I'm sort of glad I used the blue as the main color because I think it pops the design better. And you'll see when I put the link below and go to the pattern, you'll see how she did the white as the background color, as the main color. And I call this, is it the main color or the background color? Whatever you want to call it. It's very, very subtle with the little hints of blue and gray. It's super subtle. This is super poppy. It just pops. Anyway, I couldn't resist, so I'm sending it to my niece Kim in New York. I was all packaged and ready to go. Oh, I wanted to show you also, and this is what I'm sort of learning in stranded knitting, is that when you turn the hat or your project inside out, you should be able to see the design. And you can. I was thrilled with this because when I was working on it, I couldn't see it. And so you can sort of see the subtle hints of the design inside out. I also know there's a way, and Karen told me, and I'm going to have Karen teach me, of knitting a stranded color work project inside out. So you'll knit it, I'm not quite sure how you do it. I would love to learn it, because then you can see, and you can sort of see where you need to carry your floats. But I really, really enjoyed it. I've only knit stranded in the round. I've done 2 other hats, and I've done the Caitlin Hunter Glacier Park cowl, which is also a color work piece. So I'm curious to see, well, all the patterns that we got on Knit Stars were somewhere in the round. It was hats and cowls. Anyway, I am gonna make the Tecumseh sweater by Caitlin Hunter. That is also color work, stranded knitting in places, and that's also going to be in the round though. Anyway, I'm very, very happy with the way this came out. Super happy with the way it came out. But anyway, so yay, FO color work. I don't know what the title of this podcast is, but it has something to do with color work. Anyway, that's an FO. Now, let's look at my hoe. I'm very excited about my hoe because I sort of lost my sock mojo. I think I talked about this at my last podcast, and I finally finished this one of the socks, and the other is still on the needles because I do my socks tandem. But this is the this is Mina Phillips design candy cane socks. I'm using the Christmas Candy colorway by Barnyard Knits. No relation, just so I have like one more repeat round, and then I do the toe. So I think this will come out just even. This is the colorway that I used. It's really beautiful. I just love it, and it just came out beautiful. But let me show you my hoe. I finished one, and I wanted to finish it yesterday. Here it is. Here it is. Very happy with the way this came out. And get behind it so I don't. Now the design, you can see the design, and I love the way it's striped. I also did a garter stitch heel, and I used the German short row heel, and it was better than I expected. I also went down a needle size because my other ones were too big. My other socks that I had done previously were a little bit big. So I decided to go down to a 0. This sock blocker, by the way, is from Marcia of Knitting Luft, and she very kindly gifted me this little sock blocker with my logo on it. Hey! But because somehow I've lost my other sock blockers. They're somewhere. They will show up. But in reorganizing my closet and all that, I might have put it away too well. Can't find it. Anyway, so this is the candy cane sock pattern. I will again put a link below. Mina Phillips design. It's her new latest sock club. I love Mina's sock club. And there's the garter stitch heel. So very, very, very happy with it. German short row. Glad I did German short row again. And I think because I've done German short rows on sweaters and other short row projects, I'm much more comfortable with them. So I'm not as tense about doing it and much more relaxed. So yay, ho! Almost an FO. But it will be an FO, you know, in a couple days in between everything else I'm working on. So yeah, that's really good. And you know what? It's snug, but this is not blocked yet, so I have to block it. And sometimes when you block something, it just opens up the yarn a lot, and so you're able to you know, very, very happy with this. So yeah, yay, ho, F-O. Yay, yay. Okay, let's bring you up to date on what else I'm working on. Now, you know that I have a shawl knit along going in my podcast Ravelry group, and I am working on the Eifelgold shawl by Melanie Berg, who's one of my favorite shawl designers. This is the pattern, and you can see that, I mean, it's got some mosaic going on. You know, I've sort of rediscovered mosaic knitting. I think I did it one other time. I love mosaic knitting. And so here's where I am. I've done the first mosaic section. You can see that right here. I'm about to add the second mosaic section. I think I have four more rounds of this section here with the blue. But I particularly like the way the back of the mosaic looks, because it's just in itself its own design, different from the design, the main design. So if I happen to just have to have it flipped, I don't care. I love these colors. This is Primrose Yarn Company. Here's her label. I don't know if many of you are familiar with it, with Kelsey's yarn. It's not coming across well, but and the blue is called Old Tailor's. This blue is called Old Tailored Suit, and the pink is called Antiqued. This is a sport weight shawl. It's not a fingering weight, and for the longest time I kept looking for fingering weight to do this shawl, and I'm glad I finally read the pattern again. It says sport weight. Anyway, I'm really glad with it. I love the yarn. I love the yarn. You know what the yarn has? A lot of depth. It just does. So it's I would say it's a fall, winter, early spring shawl. It's not a summery shawl. It'll be a little too heavy, and I'm loving it. So that's it. Now, I pronounced myself the shawl knitter, a shawl knitter. I'm reaching over for this other thing that I'm working on. And if you remember, I said last time that my friend Magley, who owns Heart and Spirit Atlanta, a small little yarn shop, and she sort of specializes in more indie dyed. She carries mostly indie dyed yarns, and she was going to do the Slow Curves knit along, and I said no, I can't do it because it's so big. I mean, I think it's like over 500 stitches at the end of it, and you know from my previous podcasts, I'm not good at that, and I need to find shawls that fit me better. So Magley so kindly adjusted the pattern. I said the most I can go is 300 stitches, and even that's not pleasant. 250 is really my max. She said, well, I'm going to go to 300, and we'll see how you do, and if you find that you can't really do it beyond 250, then we'll continue to shorten it. So because I don't have enough things on the needles already, she kicked it off last Saturday at her yarn shop, and I thought, well, I have to go. I did buy the yarn from her, and I want to do it. So, and I'm a big Hohi. This is a shawl by Hohi and Locatelli, and I love it. I will put the link to the pattern below. I am doing it all in long dog yarns. Can you see this pattern? Yeah, this is long dog yarns. Long Dog Yarn Company. So here's where I am. Based on her adjustments, I'm able to go a little faster than the other folks that are joining me in this, that are part of her cal. But I really like how these colors are coming together. They're really subtle, not too loud, although it does get loud as it goes on. But I'm doing German short rows again. This is a big short row shawl, can't really see it because I have it on smaller needles. I'm going to transfer it to larger needles once I get past this next short row segment. But it's really a fun, addictive knit, and I appreciate Magley adjusting the pattern for me. So it's a 4-color shawl. So the first color is this sort of neutrally Wild Child, I think it's called. This is called New Growth, this color. It's all long dog yarns. This is called New Growth. And there's a little bit of this green in this neutral color, and a little bit of this sort of pink, rosy pink. So the third color that I will be adding is right here. I will then be picking up the pinks and the lilac purple color that appear in the light color here and this green here. So this will be my third color. I'll decide at the time if I'm going to go to color 4 or not. But this has been fun. So it's my second shawl in my own shawl knit along. I love it. Yeah, I'm very, very, very happy with this. So, but it will take a back seat to my Eifelgold because I just, listen, is this the year of switching colors all the time? Whether it's stranded, I haven't done Farewell yet, whether it's mosaic, I am having a lot of fun, and it just keeps things really interesting. So let me get my stuff out of the way that I've already shared with you. Rearranging in this cute bag. This is Laughing Stitches. Nancy from Laughing Stitches has the cutest bags. I love her bags. This is my friend Sarah English Perry's bag that I'm also a very big fan of. I'm like, what can I put in Sarah's bag? And this will carry my Eifelgold. This carries my Eifelgold shawl. All right, I'm going to update you on some of, I think, one more thing that I'm working on that I want to share with you that I'm making slow but steady progress on is my Turtle Dove sweater by Espace Tricot. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I will put the link below. I am using Woolfolk Luft. And I'm still in the raglan section, but in between everything else I'm doing, I think it's going fairly well. So this is the turtleneck, and I've done it in, the colors just come in a number, but this is sort of the purpley, I'm into purple these days. What else is new? Purplish, and it's a blend of fine merino and Pima cotton. It's a bulkier yarn on bigger needles. It's not my forte, but this is really so delightful to knit with. I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing it. Yeah, it's fun. It's squishy. It's wonderful to work with. So this is my garment in between everything else I'm doing. So yeah, that's going to look really great. I'm also going to point out some of the acquisitions that I've recently gotten. And some of these are, well, I won't show you everything. I'll just show you one particular that I really love. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing a stitch marker necklace by Heidi and Lana. I will put the link below. I just love it, along with my, I'm totally bedecked in my, my shawl is falling off. Wait, I'll put it on this way. Easier. Heidi and Lana, I'll put the link below. She's, by the way, I'll tell you a little backstory. She has the most beautiful stitch markers. I mean, they're beautiful and they're perfect size. And I would show them to you. Hold on, I'll get them. Yeah, this was actually recommended to me by, no, I don't have them here. Oh yeah, I do. No, sorry. She has beautiful stitch markers, which I learned about through Aya of Mythica Fibers, and then discovered when I went to her Etsy shop that she does these beautiful sort of stitch marker necklaces, and some on some of this sort of like leather thingy cord. And then she does some longer ones, which I ended up gifting to my friend Teresa for a Christmas gift. The longer cord. Do I have this on inside out? No. In a silver. So and it comes like in Teresa's tall, so she can carry it off. It's really beautiful. So I love her stuff. Anyway, let's talk about Aya from Mythica Fibers for a moment, shall we? So I was introduced to Aya by watching Mina Phillips. By the way, I do get a lot of recommendations on the kinds of yarn I buy from my podcast buddies, and a big reason why I watch those podcasts. I enjoy everybody, by the way, that I watch on a frequent basis, but it's also to get recommendations on what they're buying, what they're making with. I love it. So Mina had gotten a whole bunch of Aya's yarn, and she was showing it, and it literally stopped me in my tracks. I was like, okay, what is that? So I looked Aya up and invited her to join my Shawl Knit Along, just to give you an update on that, and forgive me for repeating if you've already know this. I've engaged about 8 indie dyers to contribute 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn that I will be giving away to the participants in my Shawl Knit Along. So I invited Aya to do that, but I don't want to invite people out of the blue. I want to be able to buy their yarns, to experience and touch their yarns. So I ordered a yarn from Aya, and then she, so let me tell you what I ordered. This is Aya's label. Ooh. Mythica Fibers. I saw this colorway. This is in her sock base, and it is called Caribbean Breeze. This is not a color that I'm totally comfortable with. However, I was so taken with it when I first saw it. I thought, I've got to get that. So I placed an order, and then Aya wrote me back on Instagram and said, yes, she would love to participate in my Shawl Knit Along, and when I purchased this, I also got some of her other yarns. And I think I posted on Instagram that I had received it. It was a little lost. In the meantime, I don't know, either somebody referred me, or maybe I did it, I can't remember, entered a giveaway that she was doing. I don't ever win giveaways, by the way. So I don't enter a lot of them, and I was very judicious about entering this one. Then she DM'd me. She sent me an instant private message on Instagram because guess what, you won. I was like, what? So now I have 2. But look at this one. So this one, I mean, I have so many things that will go with this, so many beautiful greens that will go with this, and I love it. And we know that coral is sort of the color of the year. This is called Pumpkin Pie. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, but there will be something. I mean, it is pretty beautiful. I might do socks. I don't know. So it's, anyway, do give her a look up on Etsy, Mythica Fibers, and I will put a link below to her Etsy shop. This is her. This is her card. And she always sends some Japanese tea. And she did a little origami for me. Oh, here it is. It's on my bookshelf. Which I love this. And I put it where it can be seen all the time because I just love it. Yeah. Anyway, So put it back on my shelf so I don't forget it. Yeah, I love it. Also, I wanted to tell you that if you had seen that Quince Co, also a favorite yarn company, and one of the first fibers I ever knit with when I relearned how to knit 8 years ago. I don't know, it's with Teresa. We were trying to figure out, it was 8 or 9 years ago. I think it was 8 years ago. Anyway, when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I want to try that. Tried to get in, and they had sold out like right away. I was like, oh crap. They said, okay, well, we're gonna reopen it again on blah 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 date at 11 o'clock in the morning. So if you didn't get a chance to get it first time, you can try again. So of course I set my clock. Got it. I went in and got it. A friend of mine, Judy, she got it, and she did. They're splitting up the Quince Quarterly into level 1 and level 2. Judy got level 2, I got level 1. And I got it, so I was very, very pleased. They just send it to you every 3 months with a pattern and all that. So I didn't know what to expect when I got the box. Came in a beautiful box, packaged beautifully. Let me show you what I got. So this is the first quarter of Quince Quarterly. They sent a pattern. Pretty beautiful yarn. I'll show that to you. A little tote bag, which I love. And some chocolate. So let's start with the tote bag. Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's a great crossbody bag. It's got a big strap. I love crossbody bags. Easier to walk around with for me. And you know, really subtle design, good canvas. I will definitely be using this bag a lot. They sent Piper. Piper is one of their lines, and they've had this yarn for a long time. And this is the Cold Spring colorway. I'm a jewel tone person. This colorway is magnificent. This is, Piper is 50% super kid mohair and 50% super fine merino. They say it is a lace weight, but they say sort of it's a lace weight plus. Like if you look at their site, it will talk about the fact that it's lace weight plus. And it's on a size, this pattern that they've sent with it is on a size 7 needle. So for a lace weight, that's a pretty big needle. I cannot stop touching this thing. It is pretty beautiful. Anyway, so I got 2 skeins of this, which is very, very nice, and this absolutely beautiful pattern. This pattern, by the way, what you see here is it's doubled up because, I'll open it up so you can see it. It's actually a fairly long cowl. It's also cabled. And you can see in the back the different ways. It's also cabled. It's like an 8 and 8. It's a long cable. I can barely do 3. But you know what? I'm excited about it because I think this one, I think you're going to have to use a cable needle. I don't think you can cable this without a cable needle. It's too long. But this really was a great start to Quince & Co.'s quarterly package and my cute little sheep chocolate, which will be gone by the time I get the next one. Yeah, I've been saving it to show you because I think it's going to be gone soon. But yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Judy got her Quince Quarterly it's a new yarn for them, which is the Piper's a lace weight, lace plus, light fingering. Judy's was also, I don't know what the name of her yarn is, maybe it is Piper, but it's a worsted. They've never done Piper in a worsted. So Judy's was a beautiful, like silver gray worsted. So it was beautiful. Beautiful. Also, as part of the new year, I've decided to keep better track of what I'm working on. So you may have seen this on Instagram and on Facebook, but we're going into the organization section. This is an Emily Lay planner. Look at this box it came in. It's so beautiful how it came. And it's a calendar by day. I used to keep calendars, hand calendars, before I went total digital. But I'm hoping, this is beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm hoping that this will help me keep better track of what I'm working on by month. So it has by month, also by day. I will still keep my bullet journal because I like working on my bullet journal, and I draw more on my bullet journal. But this one will have some notes. I don't know if I'm going to be successful or not, but I thought I would give it a try. Just trying to say, okay, in the month of January, I'm going to be working on these projects and just see the carry on. I've also decided to whittle down a couple things that I'm working on again. There are some whips that have been languishing that I need to finish, and one in particular that I want to finish. I will finish it. It is not in the rotation right now, but it will be very soon. And I've decided, after having a very long talk with myself, that I started, when Hohi launched Knit Along, I want to say it was 2 years ago. No, I don't remember when it was. Sorry, that was my phone. When Hohi started Knit Along Starting Point, yeah, that's really been languishing a long time. It is way too big for me. I'm gonna frog it. I'm not happy about that, but I think I can reclaim, some of the yarn is pretty gorgeous, so I'm gonna reclaim a lot of the yarn. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Otherwise, everything is going well. This is the chatter part. We are, you know, we're in the January doldrums. We are headed down to the beach next week for a month, which would be nice. Although it's, you know, it's northern Florida. It's in the Panhandle, so it's not exactly warm. It's not, it can be laying out beach weather, but it's not really. But it's a beautiful time of year, and it's not really crowded there, and I really like places that are not really crowded. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to catch up with my local yarn shop there, Destin Yarn Shop, and see Carol and see the knitting group that meets every Thursday there. And I'll participate in some of them. That'll be fun. Also going to address the elephant in the room, which is, if you are on Instagram and if you are following the conversation on Instagram, that was spurred by a blog post that a prominent maker in our community posted. And it just launched a whole bunch of discussion about race and inclusion, and some people are very vehement about it, and some people are deciding to hang back. And I've been reading and reading and reading a lot of the different posts. And because I do have a small platform here on YouTube and on Instagram, I feel like I can't really ignore it. All I'm really going to say is that I hear everybody speak. I've read as many posts as I can possibly read, and I think it's a good discussion that needs to be had, particularly on the eve of Vogue Knitting Live, which is going to happen in a couple of weeks. I think it's important to have this type of discussion and to bring it out in the open. that's really all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to say anything else about it. So I think it's an excellent discussion to have. And we'll leave it at that. All right. Okay, let's see. We'll have a busy week. I think we're just getting ready to go to the beach. It's sort of gathering everything and getting ready to go to the beach. So that'll be fun. All right. Let's see. If you've not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below. I was told to say that. And everyone have a great week. I hope you have a productive week. I hope I'm more productive and I get to focus, finish my hoe, and do some other, and make some progress on some of my projects. All right, everyone. Love you all. Love you, and see you in a few weeks from the beach. Okay. Bye. Have a great day.